This is the entire SpongeBob Iceberg explained, starting above the surface with Mr. Krabs and Plankton used to be friends. Which, if you're a newer fan of SpongeBob, you may be thinking, wait, aren't Mr. Krabs and Plankton sworn enemies?
Plankton! Krabs! Plankton! Krabs!
Well, yes, but Mr. Krabs and Plankton were both born on the same day and even grew up together, with Mr. Krabs going as far as protecting Plankton from the bullies in high school.
Hey, barnacle brains! I think you owe Plankton an apology.
You're right, Plankton, I'm sorry.
However, this all changed once the pair decided to start making burgers together. And once the discussion of the secret formula came up, this created a rivalry that would span decades and, of course, multiple failed attempts to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula from Mr. Krabs.
I'm sorry, Krabs, old buddy.
Me too. Me too.
Now, Karen, back off, rag boy.
Sabotage!
Shanghai alternate endings refers to the season 2 episode Shanghai, where fans of the show were given the opportunity to vote live which ending they wanted to see, with the 3 endings being a variation of SpongeBob, Patrick, or Squidward cashing in the Flying Dutchman's final wish.
Tell you what, you give me back the sock, and I'll give you 3 wishes.
Make it 5.
4.
3. Take it or leave it.
Okay. 3.
And during the live broadcast, it was SpongeBob's ending that won the majority of votes. But that doesn't mean that the other endings were never revealed, as in future DVD releases, fans had the option to select both the Patrick and Squidward endings, with my personal favorite of these being the Patrick ending because, well, it's the Patrick ending.
Okay, I got it.
The wish is granted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Want some gum?
You wished for gum?
Okay, now this is a fun one. As in 2014, there was a restaurant in the West Bank of Palestine called Saltass Burger, with the entire restaurant being themed on the real-life Krusty Krab, including the flags, the seats, and even the entire cash register, which, as you may expect, caught the attention of Nickelodeon. And boy, not for the right reasons. And in 2019, the Palestinian Krusty Krab was forever shut down. Squidward Gets Arrested doesn't refer to the character of Squidward getting arrested in the show itself, but rather Squidward's voice actor Roger Bumpass was arrested in January of 2016 in Burbank, California, and the reason for his arrest was that he was driving under the influence. But of course, he then pleaded guilty and has been trouble-free ever since. So yeah, good on you, Mr. Squidward. And speaking of Squidward, there was a series of SpongeBob shorts released in 2000 to 2001 called Astrology with Squidward, with each of these incredibly niche shorts covering one of the zodiac signs. Or at least that was the plan, but only 6 of them ever got released.
My prediction for Leo in the 12 months ahead. Everyone you know will get 1 year older. I'm Squidward, your Nicktoon astrologer.
With the funniest part about all of this being that they made SpongeBob a Sagittarius, Patrick a Taurus, and Plankton a Leo. Which, I mean, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Karate being a metaphor for making love is something that stems from the season 1 episode Karate Choppers, with SpongeBob and Sandy doing some karate at his house, which then leads to SpongeBob calling Sandy at night for some more karate. Which, I mean, yeah, this is definitely SpongeBob calling Sandy for a booty call. But of course, Sandy is wise to this and simply says nice try to SpongeBob.
Hello? Nice try, Sponge Brain.
And in my view, this is a very thinly veiled metaphor. As, I mean, come on, SpongeBob is clearly trying to get in those sandy cheeks. With this becoming such a problem that SpongeBob can't even concentrate at work because he's spending all day thinking about karate. With Mr. Krabs even having to warn SpongeBob to lay off the karate or he'll be fired.
Sandy!
No more!
But Mr. Krabs!
Shh! No more of this karate stuff, lad, or you're fired.
So yeah, karate is almost certainly a replacement for making love. And as we move down the iceberg, we have the suspicious mystery of Pearl's mother, who has never made a single appearance in SpongeBob and has only been mentioned once in the SpongeBob trivia book, where the only thing we really find out about her is that she is definitely a whale, which of course has led many people to speculate that Pearl's mother was actually turned into the meat that makes up Krabby Patties. And the person that did this is none other than Mr. Krabs himself, who of course is a notorious fisherman and also has a suspicious amount of Krabby Patties stored up.
Holy shrimp!
However, whatever the case, the mystery of Pearl's mother continues to haunt the SpongeBob fanbase. This is arguably one of the funniest entries on this iceberg, as in 2003, the voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny, made an appearance on Saturday Night Live, in what can only be described as an incredibly non-PG sketch. And as you may imagine, Nickelodeon wasn't exactly too thrilled with their iconic child-friendly mascot being used to make fun of American politics in this way. And this is why many people believe that all of the SpongeBob voice actors were then forbidden from doing outside work with the characters from the show. This entry in the iceberg is incredibly unique, as it's the only truly dark piece of SpongeBob media that was created by the team itself and is still viewable to this day. You see, on the 18th of February 2022, the SpongeBob team put out a seemingly innocent reply gif in response to a fan. But what they didn't realize is that this gif actually contains an image from the Wyoming Incident of 2006, where, according to the internet, a local Wyoming news broadcast was interrupted by images and sounds that were deemed to cause psychological harm. And the strangest part about all of this is that this tweet still remains up to this day. Okay, so this entry is about the season 5 episode Spongehen, and in particular the fact that it's so eerie that there's been widespread comments from both children and adults alike that the episode makes them feel incredibly uncomfortable. And honestly, I agree, as in this episode, SpongeBob realizes that his holes have musical abilities. And not only that, but the music that he produces also attracts jellyfish, which in a very claustrophobic scene causes SpongeBob to panic as all of these jellyfish hunt him down.
Oh no! They found me! No, guys, please! Would you mind coming back after business hours? I'm trying to work here.
However, the most disturbing part about this episode is when SpongeBob hides out in a cave before then going completely insane and eventually seeing that all of Bikini Bottom is destroyed when he finally comes out.
Krusty Krab, here I come! Oh! How long was I gone?
So yeah, it's not exactly the most typical cheery episode of SpongeBob, and as the iceberg states, this caused many children to experience some incredibly dark thoughts when watching the episode. And of course, this also led to thousands of parents calling into Nickelodeon to complain. As we go deeper into the iceberg, we now have SpongeBob and Tran, which, yes, is just as wild as it sounds. You see, in 2017, an unlicensed movie called SpongeBob and Tran was released, with incredibly horrifying PS1 graphics that look like an homage to Xavier Renegade Angel. Oh, and of course, some very questionable voice acting. Although the wildest part about this movie is the things that SpongeBob and the rest of the gang actually get up to, such as visiting the iconic SpongeBob orange cat, or even watching a sports announcer literally get blown up. Although amazingly, none of the people or companies involved in making SpongeBob and Tran were ever sued. During the season 2 episode Sailor Mouth, SpongeBob goes to take out the trash at the Krusty Krab, only to find a mysterious swear word that's written on the bins and censored in the episode.
Krabs is,
Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
well, sometimes, but not recently.
Although SpongeBob voice actor Tom Kenny would reveal at a 2016 Connecticon panel that there was actually a version of the episode where the real swearing exists. And after an 8-year hunt, in 2024, a vocal recording was finally leaked, which in turn gave us Sailor Mouth uncensored.
Nuh-uh, not that word. That word.
Plankton Got Served, or One Course Meal as it's sometimes referred to as, is an alleged lost episode of SpongeBob in season 7, which supposedly sees Mr. Krabs using Plankton's fear of whales against him, with Mr. Krabs tormenting Plankton with images of whales until he's finally had enough, and then unalives himself as a result of this torment. Which, of course, despite being absolutely ridiculous, did in fact give us this absolute gem of an image. So yeah, Plankton Got Served gets a pass in my book. Okay, so this entry is where the iceberg starts to get a bit more sinister, as during the season 1 episode Hookie, there was allegedly a first airing where the ending had a dead fish who was being strung up by his shoes. However, of course, with SpongeBob being a show for children, this initial airing immediately got flagged and instantly removed from future broadcasts. And honestly, with a lot of people online saying that they remember the first airing of Hookie, well then this has led to a decades-long hunt to try and retrieve this horrifying initial ending. Squidward's unaliving, or Red Mist for the sake of not having this video flagged, is an old internet creepypasta stemming from the early 2010s that states that there was an entire lost episode of SpongeBob that a Nickelodeon intern found in 2005 that contains some of the most disturbing things in SpongeBob history, with horrifying images of Squidward filling the screen up for minutes at a time, and of course, as is tradition for the supposed lost episodes of SpongeBob, Squidward would then tragically unalive himself at the end of this lost tape. However, unlike Plankton Got Served, this creepypasta would actually gain the attention of the SpongeBob showrunners, so much so that it actually got an inclusion in season 15 SpongeBob and Randomland, before then swiftly being removed from future broadcasts. It's no secret that SpongeBob has a plethora of video games, with some of these being great and others not so much. However, the 2001 PlayStation game SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge recently gained headlines for all the wrong reasons. You see, the developer Climax Group, which by the way is an incredibly fitting name, ended up releasing all of the source files for Super Sponge, which of course people then dug through extensively, only to realize that there was many drawings in the game's files of SpongeBob characters doing incredibly inappropriate things to each other. But I mean, hey, at least these weren't playable characters or something. Okay, so at the start of this iceberg, I said that Mr. Krabs and Plankton used to be friends. But what if I told you that they still are? You see, many people online have started theorizing that Mr. Krabs and Plankton aren't actually fighting, but that Plankton's many elaborate attempts to steal the Krusty Krab secret formula are nothing but a marketing stunt to get more people to buy Krabby Patties.
I like money.
And if you think that Mr. Krabs would never do this, well, need I remind you that this man literally dug up Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen's grave just to get a hat that he thought he could sell.
Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I am!
So yeah, let me know what you think. Are Mr. Krabs and Plankton secretly business partners? And as we get onto the final layer of the iceberg, this is where we get into the truly dark side of SpongeBob. Starting off with the season 9 episode Squid Baby, which many people have described as purely being a fetish because of the incredibly strange scenes of SpongeBob and Patrick acting like literal babies.
Oh, look at me, I'm a baby!
No, babies don't talk like that, Patrick. They talk like goo goo, gaga,
Oh, and of course, Squidward then repeatedly suffering brain trauma and then becoming, you guessed it, a literal baby himself. And not only that, but Squidward becomes a baby who can't stop drooling and pooping in his diaper.
Oh, that's it. Get that poopy baby out of me restaurant!
Mr. Krabs, if my poopy baby isn't welcome here, then I'm not staying either.
Which, I mean, if this episode isn't just the writers fantasizing about their fetish, well, then who even is this episode for? Squidward is still frozen in the Krusty Krab refers to the iconic season 1 episode SB129, where Squidward freezes himself to get away from SpongeBob and Patrick, and ends up traveling throughout all of the known universe, and even ends up in his very own blank creation.
I may finally have found a place where I can be all alone.
But what if I told you that Squidward is still frozen in the Krusty Krab freezer, and that when Squidward was time traveling, he was merely entering his purgatory before passing away forever, with the entirety of the SpongeBob SquarePants series after season 1 simply taking place in the frozen mind of Squidward tentacles. It's no secret that Patchy the Pirate is one of the wackiest characters in the SpongeBob universe. However, an incredibly dark theory circulating online states that Patchy the Pirate is actually clinically insane, and that no, he is of course not talking to an animated sponge, but rather he is simply completely delusional to the point that he truly believes that he's visited Bikini Bottom, and even now believes that he's a fully animated being that can talk to SpongeBob, which, I mean, if you ask me, is incredibly terrifying, and it truly makes you wonder if he even does have a talking parrot in the first place, or if everything in Patchy the Pirate's life is just a figment of his paranoid imagination. The subscriber theory states that only 1.6% of you guys are subscribed to the Harryfromends channel. So please, if you like the video and subscribe, as it helps me out massively to make more SpongeBob content. And so, this has been the entire SpongeBob Iceberg explained. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything and which part of the iceberg creeped you out the most.